to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me, delighted to have all the way from Michigan, America, Jermaine Franklin Jr. Jermaine J. Franklin Jr. I don't know how you want me, what you want me to call you, but
you call me Jermaine.
I call you Jermaine. Firstly, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for jumping on Zoom this evening in the UK time, Friday. How's life?
Life's good so far, taking it one day at a time.
No, absolutely. Jermaine, we haven't really spoken before on camera. I don't think you've ever been on IFL TV. So welcome to IFL TV, firstly. Let's just draw it back. Being a professional 7 years, kind of what got you into the sport of boxing?
My stepdad actually got me into the sport. Was getting into a couple fights at school. I ain't gonna say I was like a trouble kid, but was getting into a couple fights. So he was like, "You always fighting at school? Just go to the gym." And I've been there ever since. It was like I was like 12 or 13. Been in the gym ever since.
And so knocking people out most of your career then?
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, how do you kind of assess your career to date? 21 fights, a professional 7 years. We know the big announcement that came today, which we're going to come to shortly. But to date, how do you assess your career?
I think my career is on pretty fair. I think I should be a little further than where I am right now. But setbacks dealing with old managers and stuff like that. So kind of put a hold on my career for a while. Not making money from boxing, having to go work a job, take care of my family. So I personally feel like I should be further along in my career, but I'm grateful for everything.
It's quite an interesting point you make, because there are a number of fighters that I've spoken to in the past as well that say that they've been stuck in contracts. They're not able to get out of the contracts. They're trying to take the legal route, go to the courts, and in that time they're not allowed to fight and stay active.
Yeah.
Is that a big problem?
Yeah, it's a huge problem. Because for us, with this sport, it requires so much. So it's hard to be able to, like, the job I was working was a 12-hour shifts. It's hard to be able to go to work, go to work at 7, get off at 7 in the morning. Then I had to take my girls to school at 8:40. I had to still come home, try to get rest, be able to try to go to practice, pick them back up at 3:40, and have to go right back to work at 7. So to try to fit time to be able to go to the gym and work out and stuff, it was kind of a problem, man. A lot of athletes go through this because, like I said, boxing is so demanding. It takes so much of our time. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So when you kind of shut off from doing that, you don't have no avenue to make any money. So you have to do what you got to do at that point.
Obviously, big news coming out today here in the UK. I think earlier this afternoon, you're bringing some smoke from Michigan to the UK, London, and you're taking on former world challenger Dillian Whyte. Just talk to me first how happy you are to almost showcase your skills here in the UK, but also the opportunity to fight a big name like Dillian.
I'm honored. I'm honored. I've been waiting for this for a while, so I'm honored for the opportunity. I'm grateful, and I'm extremely happy to come over to England. It's my first time leaving the country, so I'm extremely happy to come over to England, maybe learn some history about you guys, and meet people and make potential fans, and meet fans that I already got possibly.
But obviously, before that, to handle business more importantly against Dillian Whyte. What do you make of Dillian as a fighter?
I think Dillian is a good fighter. He's fought some of the best. He got some good fights under his belt. So it's I don't take nothing from him as a fighter. I think he's a good fighter.
He's obviously coming off that loss from Tyson Fury back in April. So
Yeah.
April to November, about 6-7 months he's been out of the ring. Do you feel like you're catching him at the right time? Do you feel like he could be underestimating you?
Well, you know how the way the boxing world is. Everybody thinks I'm just a pushover or easy fighter, easy win. So I don't know. He probably is underestimating me. For his sake, I hope not, because I don't fuck around. I'm not playing. So I hope he's taking me serious just as serious as I'm taking him.
You know, I've seen a lot of comments after the Fury fight where people thought that Dillian's done and he's finished, and he's not at that level anymore. What have you made of him over the last couple of fights? Do you feel like he's still listen? Any heavyweight is a danger because you land clean on that chin and that person go to sleep. But has he still got it in him?
Um, I mean, honestly, in the Fury fight, I think he looked decent till he got stopped. He was looking all right, but as a fighter, I know personally we have good days, we have bad days sometimes. So I can't really say that like he's done, but at the same time, I think he's a little wounded from those fights. It's a lot to get knocked down, and to be able to get up, it takes a lot out of your legs, and just mentally, it can affect you. So I'm not going to say he's done, but I would say he's a little wounded.
Is there anything that he possesses in his style of fighting that you haven't seen before?
Um, Not really, but I feel like everybody does something a little different from everybody else. So some stuff might be awkward to me or a little foreign to me, but um, I'm 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 pretty good at catching up on speed or being able to react to certain stuff. So I don't think I will have a hard time adjusting to anything that looks different or weird to me, or something that's coming out maybe touching me. I don't have a problem adjusting to it.
We know quite famously Dylan waited many years to get his WBC mandatory title shot, and in the process of that, he was still out there fighting, some big names, Joseph
Yeah.
Parker's and Derek Chisora's and others, consistently fighting at kind of the top level before he got to the Fury fight.
That's why I feel like he deserves his respect. I feel like a lot of people kind of, just pushing him off to the side because, he got knocked out a couple times, but he still deserves respect. Like you said, he was fighting top fighters while he was waiting for his shot. How many fighters would do that? A lot of fighters just gonna wait, take some easy fights and wait for their opportunity. But he was still out there giving it all he got until he got his shot.
Why do you think he selected you?
Huh?
Why do you think him, Dylan White, or his team have selected you as an opponent?
I honestly think because they think I'm an easy win, but I'm gonna shock the world on the 26th.
Do you think do you think coming to the UK, beating Dylan White introduces you to kind of like the top 10 heavyweights of the world and say, look, my name's Jermaine Franklin Jr. and I'm here to take over?
Yeah, it puts me on the front street stake. Like I keep hearing my names behind the scenes. Nobody will give me the respect, but I hear my name a lot behind the scenes. So I feel like some of them know. I'm not gonna say all of them, but some of them know who I am already. But this fight right here makes you know who I am. You can't just. I'm not a behind the scenes guy no more. I'm out in the front street.
I'm sure negotiations have been going on for a while with your team because obviously I know the announcement was today, but it may have been going on for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. But in terms of your preparations, when do you plan to come to the UK? With 5 weeks, it's Friday today, 5 weeks tomorrow is the fight. So when do you plan to kind of come over and settle in and get used to the time zone?
They're trying to get me over there next week, like next week around the 27th, 28th. I think that's the dates we have. I have to check to make sure, but yeah, they're trying to get me over there next week and to settle in and get used to the time and the climate, all that stuff kind of makes a difference.
No, absolutely. And we look forward to it. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic fight, November 26th, Wembley Arena here in the UK. Jermaine, just a couple of other things. Obviously, the American heavyweight division has been flourishing with Deontay Wilder as the champion, who obviously lost last year to Tyson Fury in their third trilogy. We saw Deontay back in the ring on the weekend against Helenius with a vicious knockout. Do you feel like he's still got it to offer in the heavyweight division?
He still got it he still got something in the tank. He's not done. Like I tell people all the time, like I don't really try to criticize a lot of boxers, but I wouldn't say he's the best skill fighter, but he probably has some of the most heart I've seen out of a lot of boxers. So I don't with that type of heart, is if you can't defeat the heart, you won't defeat the man. So he's one of those type of people. I feel like as long as he feels strong and it's something he loves, he's going to keep pushing.
A lot of people talk about Jared Anderson. What do you make of Jared Anderson?
I like you talking Jared Anderson from Ohio. I like Jerry Anderson. He's nice. I watched a couple of his fights. I like him. I think he's nice. Like a nice up and coming heavyweight in American. So
You know, everyone's talking about Deontay and Jared, but surely as a heavyweight yourself, you want them to talk about you as well.
yeah, I feel like my name should be up in there in those claims too. But like I said, I'm not an attention seeker or nothing. I like to prove people wrong. I actually like being an underdog. I probably know they boo me in England. That's something you don't want to do. I'm gonna get fired up like instantly. It gives me a ton of adrenaline. So I don't. It's just something about you know people doubting you that makes you go harder. I guess I would say.
Obviously announced yesterday, Tyson Fury back from retirement or short-lived retirement
Mhm.
against Derek Chisora. Tyson obviously already fought him twice. It's their
Yeah.
third time they're fighting. Tyson won convincing in the first two fights.
Uh-huh.
Even the second fight, he think most of the fight he fought in Southpaw. So, do you think this is just a routine fight for Fury before Usyk?
Um. I don't know. I don't. I kind of would have thought he would have went after somebody with a little closer style to Usyk, but it's probably routine for him unless he's trying to work something different. I actually like Tyson Fury. I'm not gonna lie. Tyson Fury is a nice fighter. I like Tyson. He's crafty. He's real crafty, and a lot of people don't see it, but I can see it. So I don't know if he's trying to work something different for this fight or see if like he could do something different that'll possibly help him with Usyk. But honestly, if I was him, I'd have just went straight at the Usyk. Like tell Usyk to bring his ass right now. We want to fight.
Yeah. I mean, 12, 18 months ago, everyone was talking about Deontay and Tyson and Joshua, kind of the three premier heavyweights. But since then, obviously, Joshua's had a couple of defeats. Deontay's had a couple of defeats. Is Tyson Fury the premier heavyweight fighter in the division?
At this time right now, he's probably at this time right now, he's the top heavyweight. You know, he's accomplished a lot, honestly. If we're gonna keep it 100, he beat Wilder. So I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of skeptical after the first fight. I'm like, Wilder got the power to stop him, but he proved a lot coming back and beating Wilder how he beat him. So that says a lot with that type of fight. But I like Fury. He's kind of made a stake in boxing right now for himself. So he's doing what he needs to do and getting the job done. That's all you can ask for as a fighter. Sometimes they want us to fight how they want us to fight, but if you get the job done, you get the job done.
No, absolutely. Also, Jermaine, I know obviously you're from Michigan. You're probably not far away from the undisputed women's champion in Clarissa Shields, who was here in
Well,
the UK.
yes,
The
sir.
GOAT. Just talk to me about how impressed you are with how she's almost carried women's boxing and being kind of a symbolic individual for the sport and what she's achieved so far.
And she an inspiration. Honestly, we come from not so great areas. I'm not gonna say my life was hard like hers, but some of these areas we come from ain't the best. So to see somebody, because like when I met Clarissa, I met her probably like as an amateur. I was in a James Toney tournament, and I think I met her. My coach already knew her coach, but it was a point in time we didn't have no gym, so we used to go down there to Burston every day to train. And we kind of built a relationship. Like that's the homie. And when I tell you, like this girl is not like no other girl. I'm not saying she's indestructible, but I seen this girl spark grown men, like grown fucking men, and she's handling her business in there. They can hit her. She's not gonna quit, tap out, none of that. Like she's a different breed of animal. So I feel like she kind of pushed women's boxing to another level, and hopefully it continues to grow because it was some great women boxers. You got Layla Ali, Holly Holm was doing her thing once upon a time, um, and Wolf. And I always forget this lady's name, but she's probably a little older than all of them. I think she's like Italian. I can't remember her name. Um, yeah, she was back in the day though. I think she was signed to Don King, but she was a savage though. And so it's like different eras of boxing. I feel like it's picking it up for the women a little bit. But yeah, I think Clarissa definitely inspired a whole youth of women to jump into the sport. I feel
No,
like she's the face of women boxing. She deserves everything that she got.
Jermaine, just finally, obviously, November 26th is not far away now. How's the fight going to end against Dillian Whyte?
Hopefully it ends with a knockout. You know, I'll take the decision, but if the opportunity presents itself, I'm most definitely trying to clean this clock.
And if Dillian's watching this now, have you got a message for him?
Hey, watch out and stay prepared because I'm not playing. I'm bringing all the smoke.
Jermaine, appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time this evening. I appreciate the announcement only went out today, and you've jumped on Zoom with me. And yeah, wish you safe travels in the UK if you're down next week, and hopefully we can do something face to face.
Bet. Appreciate you.
100%. Jermaine Franklin Jr. for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.